They should not have killed him. They should have done as the god had done and laid down their own lives. But their lives were dear to them. I'm leaving Thebes. I'm going to the woods. Let this god be honored, whatever we may think of him, whatever he has caused to be done. Here he was born. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. Everything in my life has been a mystery to me until today.
Lord, we loved you. We worshipped you. How then could you permit this evil thing to come to pass?
The gods care nothing for human happiness, which passes as the seasons. From cradle to grave they instruct us through suffering, because they would have us learn the hard lesson of wisdom.
I watched him grow. I watched you take him from me. I saw you train him for rigor and decision. Was his spirit capable of love? I know he loved only what obsessed him. His mind was too quick for feeling. Even as a child he had no patience with slowness. His thoughts were swift and harsh. They outran my indulgence. But he loved you, Cadmus, for your unbending strength which compelled his respect. Often I wished him what he never was or became, loose-limbed and grinning, half boy, half man, tied to nothing, as footloose as a god, always roaming where a high, bright, dusty sun would turn all accident to fortune, always returning, like the pale star at evening, to throw his cloak of warmth over the mundane daily grief of loneliness and middle age. I am to blame. I dreamed a dream of a son, not him, not the man he became. At what moment does a life change from blessing to curse? To do what I did, I must have held him close. Of this embrace I have no memory, only my hands reeking of his blood. What god can alter the brutality of fact?
You could not have known what your hands were doing.
A cat must be separated a long time from her kittens before she forgets them. Did I forget what no mother has ever forgotten? The face and form of her own son.
We have all been insane.
When I saw what I had done, I was given poppy juice to make me sleep. While I slept, I entered the house of the dead. I was walking in a place open, like a meadow or hill. Far below me a sea was beating upon a shingle beach. Everything in that place was alive, but it had life in a fashion different from our own. The sea lapped the shore because it pleased the sea to do so. The grass under my feet grew because it wished to grow. I walked for a time. I do not know how long. As I walked, I knew that Pentheus, my son, was walking beside me. I turned to look at him, but wept. My eyes were blinded and I could not speak. He told me he had woken in this place suddenly, cold and frightened. He said that at first he had not known that he was dead. Seeing that I could not reply, he tried to comfort me. He said that because I had loved him, I had chosen to live at his side, as his mother, as his destroyer. He said that the pattern of our existence was not ended, that our strife had meaning. It would be better for him, he said, after the toil of the blood and the blood's bitter wastefulness, to grow in the earth as a tree. There he might become simple and slow and calm, nourished by creatures which crawl or climb. "O Mother," he said, "do not weep for me. A tree feels no grief, no animosity. Live on the earth, be free, but pray for my soul. Remember me."
Dreams are not real, but the lies they tell allow us to endure what is real.
I pray that my hope is not false. I pray that knowledge and not darkness lies in the grave. Resurrection.
Daughter, we must never hope to see each other again. You cannot remain in Thebes. You have killed the lawful king. You are banished.
My guilt is terrible. I make no complaint.
For you, Agave, exile and the trouble of soul which will break, then release.
But for us, no grief at this.
Only the simplicity of another naked day.
The heat's force no longer wearisome.
No sickness to our tired eyes from the sun at the meridian.
The stubborn plough, motionless, unsweated over.
And the field,
The thick, ripe fur like grass, like corn.
Its sway indolently mirroring the wind-borne configurations of clouds.
Is untenanted and untended.
Oh, listen. Now you can hear the corn growing.
In its own power, the God's power.
Where is God? Where can we find him?
In living, within the enduring.
in the dissolution of the heart's ambition.
Be wise, therefore, and by wisdom see
that only the long journey of the soul is a reality.
Too long I have been a crucible for ambition and trouble. Life was the contention I wrought from contradiction. Let the demon in my humanity dissolve into vacancy, and the wind and the storm beat over my brain till the tough air scour clean what protesting stubbornness of flesh could not vanquish. And in the heat of it remember, all this ragged weather is transient as fire. One day it must be swept bare of its energy, its loud toil as void as a forgotten quarrel. And sun and stars also shall fall lame and dwindle, finally, to ghost and shell. And then shall all, even the dissonance of the soul, be infinitely still.
You lived in chains, I came to you. You called upon my power to release you. But you are mortals, not gods. You act as mortals do. I cannot make you moral, good and pure. For all your feeling, you are purblind and stubborn. You look for a map to show you what is right or wrong, but will not learn from your own pain. Accordingly, with every self-willed breath, you bring yourselves and each other to grief. You complain that God has lied to you. God is not the liar. You are. Find salvation in the soul's decision. Respect as yourself every creature with life. In loving others, be as a god is. Leave Thebes. Leave your city. There are loyalties deeper than blood or family. Be poor. Be simple. Be like the beast of burden. Be an exile from everything you have called home. And follow me.